It's the 2025 Royal Rumble, and we're kicking off the show with the Women's Royal Rumble match. So who is number one? It's Io Sky, the genius of the sky, who is now having to go the distance to get a shot at the Women's Championship. Number two is Becky Lynch, who makes her WWE return after 9 months of being gone. Now is back with the goal of getting back into the main event picture. Io and Becky stare down, and the two go back and forth between one another, starting off a Rumble hot. But Becky slams Io down, and as Becky is getting ready, while Io is recovering in the corner, the next entrant enters. Candice LeRae, yeah, remember her? Well, she gets in and goes after the returning Becky Lynch. Despite getting some offense in, LeRae gets a bit too cocky, and Becky hits the manhandle slam and then chucks her out of the match. Thanks for coming, Candice. Back to WWE speed for you. Number 4 enters the match and it ends up being Alba Fire. Io's also back into the fray, and the three women go at it for a bit. Io and Becky get into a crazy counter off, but Alba comes in and takes both women down as the next entrant is up. Number 5 is Liv Morgan, the former Women's World Champion who lost it to Rhea Ripley a few weeks prior, is now entering the Royal Rumble with the last chance to win back the Women's Championship for the foreseeable future. Liv's in and is greeted by Alba, who she takes down with an Oblivion. Then she stares down Becky Lynch, the woman who she beat to start her title run. Lynch takes down Liv and taunts before getting countered and clotheslined down. Liv then punches Becky into the ropes and nails an Oblivion to Becky Lynch. As Lynch is laid out and Liv is taunting, the next entrant is up. It's Dakota Kai, number 6, a friend of Io Sky. Unfortunately for Liv, she gets double teamed by Kai and Sky, and she gets her ass beat for like the next few minutes. Until she decides, fuck it, I'm dipping, I'm out of here. Which is probably the smartest thing possible other than dumping Dominic Mysterio. That'd be a smarter thing to do. Anyways, number 7, it's Mighty Molly. Wow. She's got to be like 50, right? Well, she gets in there and Dakota's like, oh wow, really? You're kind of washed. Why are you here? And Molly just punches her in the face, takes her down, and does the Molly go round. Washed, huh? Weird. I see you're the one on the mat, sweetie. And Lynch and Alba are back in, and Molly goes to fight with them for a bit until number 8 comes out. It's Bianca Belair, one half of the tag team champions, which means as much as toilet paper, but it's something. Well, this is her big shot to catapult herself in the big picture again. She comes in and Mighty Molly is like, you're gonna have to go through me first. And, well, countered, kiss of death, and Molly's out of there. Kai also comes back in from the sky and follows it up with the weird kick combo. She goes for the GTK, but it's blocked by Bianca, who then picks her ass up and hits a kiss of death again and tosses her out too. Dakota Kai is done, and Bianca has completely cleared the ring as the next entrant enters the Royal Rumble. It's Isla Dawn, Alba's tag partner, and just like with Liv with earlier, Bianca unfortunately gets her ass beat by the Unholy Tag Team. After being on Bianca for a bit, Io comes from the sky, joins in with a dropkick, but she can't beat the numbers either, and these two are just dominating Io Sky and as the next entrant is coming out. Number 10 is a returning Charlotte Flair, who's back after a year on the shelf. Isla comes at her, but she gets speared out of nowhere, and Alba gets speared immediately after too. Both Isla and Alba get chucked out by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte is on fire, and then Lynch. Lynch is back up, and she stares down Charlotte Flair. Two of the goats of modern women's wrestling lock up. Charlotte gets the edge and does a picture-perfect moonsault. Charlotte is posing to the crowd like, I'm back, bitches. But then, out of nowhere, is Liv with the Oblivion taking down the Queen, and Liv is going crazy like, haha, I outsmarted you, loser. And as the next woman is out, the lights go out. Is in the ring and appears behind Liv Morgan. And unfortunately for Liv, it doesn't go too well for her as she gets her ass kicked again. Just nasty work by Nikki Cross, just absolutely just pummeling her. Liv then gets hit by not one, but 2 fisherman neck breakers. And she kind of loses it a bit until we get to the next entrant. It's Jordynne Grace, who recently signed with the WWE post-TNA Genesis, making her second appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble. The Juggernaut comes in and the two stare down. Nikki is still kind of crazy, but unfortunately she gets taken down by the Juggernaut and she does the Grace Driver to Cross. Then she's tossed out and eliminated. With Grace in, she fights the 3 other women in the match for the next minute or so, trying to get one other out, but it's just not working. And then we get to the next entrant. Number 13 is Rael Rodriguez of the Judgment Day and friend of Liv Morgan. She comes down the ramp to see Liv Morgan laid out. She assures her that I'm here to help and goes into the ring to deliver a Tejano bomb to Bianca Belair right out of the gate. Io is in the sky again, but it doesn't work as she eats a Tejano bomb as well. Grace comes out with some punches and then a Grace Driver. After dealing with Raquel, the Juggernaut gets speared by Charlotte Flair and then does a natural selection, and just like that, Jordynne Grace is out again by Charlotte Flair. Number 14 is out, and it's hold on.
Chelsea Green!
There you go. You gotta do it. I'm sorry, you gotta do it. She gets on the apron, comes down, screams at Becky Lynch, I'm in the match now, can you believe it? And then Becky gives her a manhandle slam. But hey, Chelsea isn't eliminated, so that's good, you know. With Becky Lynch taking out Chelsea Green, Liv, out of nowhere, nails an oblivion onto Becky Lynch, picks her up, and throws her out, eliminating her from the match. She can't believe it. She got outplayed by Liv Morgan again. Now the question is, where does Lynch go from here? Well, trying to answer that question, it's time for number 15, so we'll get back to that on a future video probably. Number 15, it's Piper Niven, friend of Chelsea Green, comes out and helps her friend get back on her feet. They both tell each other, listen, we need to take on these 2 women, we need to kick their ass. So both women get back in the ring and take on the Judgment Day. And these 2 teams go at it until we get to the next entrant in the Royal Rumble match. Number 16 is Nia Jax, the former WWE Women's Champion, who for some reason is not getting a rematch, but you know what? Don't question the man with 3 H's, okay? Raquel steps up to the plate to take on Nia Jax, but she's dealt with a powerbomb and then eliminated from the match. As Liv and Chelsea are like, nah, we're gonna dip. They get out of the ring, and that leaves 2 women. Piper Niven steps up against Nia Jax, and we get a big girl hoss fight. Nia gets the advantage here, and it looks like she's gonna take out Piper Niven. However, Liv Morgan, out of nowhere, comes in from behind and is able to take out both Piper Niven and Nia Jax. They both tumble over the top rope, and they're both eliminated. Nia Jax is pissed off, but she takes her anger out on Piper Niven, who she just delivers a massive powerbomb to, and Nia Jax leaves while Piper Niven is she's not had a good day. Let's just say that. Number 17 is Zoe Stark. No one cares, really, and she just fights everybody else, you know? They all just fight, you know? Let's just get to the next entrant. It might be more interesting. Number 18 is NXT's own Roxanne Perez, the former women's champion who lost to Julia, and the Prodigy is going right after Zoe Stark, and shockingly, or not shockingly, is eliminated. Thanks for coming, Zoe. Liv comes out for the Prodigy, but it doesn't work in her favor, and she is served a Pop Rocks on the side of Coca-Cola. Okay. Oh, look, there's Io again, and it actually worked this time. She actually took her down. But another Pop Rocks with Dr. Pepper this time, and Io is out for a bit, and Roxanne is the only woman left in the ring as we get to the next entrant. Number 19 is Michelle McCool, who always ends up doing well in these matches. But Michelle comes in and says, bring it on, bitch. Starting with Perez, and unfortunately for Perez, she eats a Faith Breaker with Pepsi. Okay, this joke is getting old. Sorry, let's move on. Oh, look, it's Bianca who wants some of Michelle McCool, but she gets countered and eats another Faith Breaker. Michelle McCool is taunting the crowd like, I'm the best, but Chelsea is the only woman left. But Chelsea Green takes Michelle McCool out of the match, just like that. Chelsea's back in, and now she's the only woman left as the next entrant is up. Number 20 is Michin, rival of Green. At first, it doesn't seem like Michin is coming out from the stage. No, Michin is in the crowd. She comes out of the crowd from behind, ambushes Chelsea Green and then is able to eliminate her from the match. Big moment for her, and Chelsea Green has once again been duped by Michin, but that's about to turn to shit because the next entrant is Naomi, Bianca's tag team partner. Unfortunately for Michin, she gets double teamed by both Bianca and Naomi. Bianca has been there since number 8, so she's probably been in there at least for like 30 minutes at this point. After double teaming Michin for a bit, Michin gets tossed out of the match. And afterwards, Charlotte Flair spears Bianca down, and then Naomi takes her out with the rear view. With Naomi the only woman left, it's time for number 22. Number 22 is Stephanie Vaquer, another NXT girl who recently debuted. She's making her big impression on the Royal Rumble. She starts off with Naomi in the ring, and despite Naomi trying to beat Stephanie Vaquer, in the end, Stephanie Vaquer does her backbreaker thing that kind of looks like shit, but it's still a finish, and then eliminates Naomi from the match. Thanks for coming, Naomi. Then Perez steps up to the plate to try to take out Stephanie Vaquer, but just like Naomi, she gets taken down, then hits a backbreaker, and bye-bye Roxanne. Vaquer is completely on fire right now, and the rest of the women all get in the ring and start fighting with one another for the next minute or so, trying to eliminate one another, and then we get to number 23. It's Shayna Baszler, and just like Stowe, she doesn't really accomplish much. She doesn't really beat the women up or eliminate anybody. It's just kind of a standstill until we get to number 24. Number 24, Lyra Valkyrie, and her first opponent, Stephanie Vaquer. This is kind of a dream match for some. Pretty good matchup right here. The two women go back and forth between other trading blows, but in the end, Lyra is able to nail the Lyra driver onto Stephanie, picks her up, and eliminates her from the match. Vaquer looks at Valkyria and maybe a future women's IC title match. Regardless, this isn't the end of this story for now. Anyways, who's up next? It's another NXT girl who recently debuted, Zarya. And Zarya comes in and just wreaks havoc. She comes in and immediately F5s Bianca Belair. Liv Morgan is back and she's yelling at Zarya on the apron, screaming at her. And then Zarya is like, fuck you, and slams Liv onto the apron, throws her into the post, and then delivers an F5 to Liv Morgan. Damn, not having a good night. Zarya gets back in the ring, and Lyra comes after Zarya. But unfortunately for Lyra, she gets clotheslined down, F5, and that's it for Lyra for a bit. And Io Sky is from the sky again. Why does she keep doing this? It's like 50-50 that it works. And she dives onto Zarya, but she gets caught, carried around like a child, and then put on her shoulders and F5. Zarya has completely wiped the field, but Charlotte out of nowhere elbows Zarya straight in the head. She tries to set her up for a spear, but again, Charlotte gets caught in an F5 and taken out. And we now go to number 26 in the Rumble. It's Sonia Theill, and she comes in and goes after Zarya. She's able to get a few strikes in and even to choke her out with the ring rope. And Sonia looks to finish off Zarya, maybe hit her with a finish. I don't know what her finisher is. And unfortunately for Sonia Theill, it gets blocked, and then she gets F5, and Sonia Theill is eliminated. But out of nowhere, Shayna Baszler's back in and locks on the Kirifuda clutch for like 20 seconds. It's just locked in. But somehow Zarya finds the strike to break out of it. And then Shayna eats an F5 and then she's out too. Damn. I kind of fucked the Pure Fusion Collective. Number 27 is the returning Jade Cargill. After being out for months, she's back in the fray, and her first opponent is Zarya, who has wiped the entire field out. Zarya versus Jade. The two go at it, just two big girls, and Jade nails a headbutt to take her off her feet. Zarya comes back with a pump kick and goes for the F5, but it's blocked by Jade Cargill. Jade then hits one Jaded, and then as Zarya is on the floor, picks her up again and hits a second Jaded. This is enough for Zarya to get thrown out, and Zarya is finally out of the match. Bianca then gets back in the ring and wants to work with Jade Cargill. But then, from behind, delivers a Jaded to Bianca Belair and eliminates her from the match. Like, what the hell? Why would she do this? Well, unfortunately, as Jade is looking down, it's time for the next entrant. It's Maxine Dupri. Yeah. Unfortunately for her, Liv just comes out of nowhere, nails an oblivion onto the poor girl, throws her in the ring, and it's kind of academic at this point. She's basically cooked. She gets picked up into a Jaded and dumped out. Damn, that was like 30 seconds in the match. Congratulations. However, as Jade is just like on top, out of nowhere, Charlotte flares back with a spear, but she's not done yet, chops her down to a knee, and then a natural selection. She picks up Jade Cargill and shockingly eliminates Jade from the match. Jade Cargill is out after turning on her friend and destroying Maxine Dupri. It's over for Jade Cargill. And it's Natalya. Wait, where's Natalya? Well, we go to the back and we see Natalya completely wiped out on the floor. We don't know who or what took her out. But then the camera changes and we see a familiar face. It's Asuka, number 29. Asuka has returned to the WWE after being out with a leg injury. And Asuka goes in there and wreaks havoc like she used to do, taking out every single woman that's left in the field, one by one. And with that, we get to the final entrant. It's another big return. It's Alexa Bliss, who has been gone for nearly 2 years at this point, and Little Miss Bliss has finally returned to the WWE, and her first opponent is another returning Asuka. The two go back and forth blow for blow, but when Asuka goes for her miss, Bliss dodges it, and unfortunately for Lyra, she takes the mist instead. Bliss is then able to throw Asuka out of the ring due to this confusion, and unfortunately for Lyra, this also leaves her up for a DDT from Alexa Bliss. She tries to punch her, but in the end, she's too blinded, eats the DDT, and Lyra Valkyrie is eliminated from the Royal Rumble. And now, we're at the Final Four. Liv Morgan, the former women's champion, Io Sky, the Iron Woman, Charlotte Flair, the Queen, and the returning Alexa Bliss. While Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan are fighting, Io is completely exhausted. In her last gasp, she locks on a Koji clutch to try and weaken the fresh Miss Bliss. But Alexa Bliss is able to break out of it, and Io is just exhausted. She's just sitting on the ropes, which gives Alexa Bliss an opportunity to take her out, so she rushes at her, only to get dodged and eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Just as it looks like Io can come back after getting a big elimination like this, Liv Morgan hits an oblivion out of nowhere, and it leads to Io Sky getting tossed out. An hour into the match and Io Sky is out, while Alexa Bliss is just laughing at Io Sky, just like a complete jerk. But yeah, good performance by Io, and it sucks that she lost. But now we're at the final two, Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan. Which one of these women is going to WrestleMania? Final showdown. Liv hits an oblivion onto Charlotte Flair and is looking to clothesline her out of the match to win back her shot, but she takes too much time and is punished with an elbow. A fury of chops by Charlotte Flair leads to a supernatural selection off the top rope. Charlotte is able to pick up Liv and throw her out of the match, and it's done. Charlotte Flair, after being gone for an entire year, has returned to the WWE and has won the 2025 Royal Rumble. And I guarantee there's going to be some people that are mad about this on Twitter, but fuck you. She's going to WrestleMania 41, but which champion does she choose? An old rival in Rhea Ripley, or a rising star in Tiffany time? Well, that's a story for another day, as we still got the rest of the Rumble to go for.